it's Alana and welcome back to my channel for Chapter 6 of Sweetbriars Leaving the City. In the last episode we saw Cate settling into life at Sweetbriars, and in today's episode we'll be seeing Cate's very first day at Dalesea Hills Pony Club. As always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos all the time and you can be ready for Chapter 7 tomorrow. Hi Halen. And if you have any questions, comments or reviews, feel free to put it in the comments below or message me on my social medias at Alana Clark Equestrian on Instagram and Facebook or at ace_equestrian on Twitter. And without further ado, let's start reading. Sweetbriars, Leaving the City, Chapter 6. Cate changed the brow band on her bridle to one she'd made with navy and yellow ribbons, which were the new Pony Club colours. The new Pony Club uniform included a navy polo t-shirt and jumper, cream jumpers and a navy saddlecloth with the initials DH for Dalesea Hills Pony Club. Cate loved that everything matched. As they rode through the forest to reach the new Pony Club, Cate thought about the day ahead and her stomach churned with nerves. She hoped the people would be friendlier than the girls at her school and her riding assessment would go well. Not before long they arrived at the grounds and they could see lorries and horse trailers piling into the car park and people leading horses around getting ready. Mum and Dad were waiting for them at the gate with Mickey on a leash, a rare occurrence. Mickey was quite the explorer, and at the stables he was usually free, running in and out of the hedges looking for rabbits. Their parents explained that they needed to go to the clubhouse for the Pony Club commencement speech. Horses of every shape, size and colour huddled together outside the clubhouse, waiting with their riders. There was a friendly atmosphere. Cate and Alex stood Odette and Fritz in the second row at the end of a line of horses. Once they were there, a lady from the Pony Club introduced herself. "Welcome, riders, and a very special welcome to our new members. For those of you that don't know me, I am Man Spartan," she trilled. She looked about the same age as Cate's parents, with short blonde hair that curled into ringlets around her scalp, and wore conservative, silver-rimmed glasses. Mans explained the different riding groups and the order of the day, which was similar to Cate's last Pony Club. As she talked, she gestured with her hands and moved around a lot. Her curls bounced along with her movement, and Cate found herself captivated. Mans' face was void of emotion suddenly, and she changed to a more serious tone. "It is of the utmost importance that you listen to the instructors and be punctual, as there are over 60 members in the Pony Club," she cautioned. All the riders were silent as her words washed over them. Man's face then broke into a larger-than-life smile as she said, "Now, new members, I welcome you to come to the front as I would like to introduce you to our club." Standing at the front of the group, Mans called out each rider and horse's name. When it was Cate's turn, she smiled and waved at the large group shyly. She was relieved when the introductions were over. To start the day, the new members were to have their riding assessment, and afterwards they would go into their allocated riding level groups. Mans directed them to the dressage arena at the bottom of the Pony Club grounds and said an instructor named Benji would meet them there. The new members walked as a group to the arena that Mans pointed out, and Cate noticed that Odette and Fritz were the biggest horses in the group, although technically Odette was still scraping in as a pony at 14 hands high. The two other riders were young children riding teeny ponies. When they arrived at the arena, there was a man waiting for them sitting on a bench. He was tall and wore bright blue trainers, jeans, a grey t-shirt and a blue and orange check scarf that was knotted around his neck. He had greying hair that framed a boyish face with grey eyes. "Welcome, riders! You must be our new members," Benji said gallantly. The group nodded their heads. Only Cate and Alex said yes aloud. The younger riders looked timid. "I'm Benji, and I'll be assessing you and your horses to put you in the most appropriate riding group. I'd like to see the older riders and horses first, and then the younger riders can go together. But first, please tell me your names, your horses' names, and what you do with your horses." The responses were mixed. The two younger riders mainly attended Pony Club and rode at home. Alex and Cate had explained how they did a variety of things, including competitions. "Who would like to go first?" said Benji when it was time for the riding assessment. He looked at Alex and Cate. "I can go first," volunteered Alex. "Okay. What level of show jumping do you do with this horse? What are your ambitions?" asked Benji in a serious tone, looking Alex and Fritz up and down, then checking the girth to make sure it was tight. "We're jumping novice. I'd like to jump and compete in discovery classes this year." Benji asked Alex to trot, walk and canter around the arena. Then he asked Alex to jump over a cross rail. When he could see that they were competent at the basics, he raised the jump to about 1 metre. Alex and Fritz jumped cleanly and effortlessly. "Okay, thank you, Alex. That's enough. I don't want to tire you out. You and Fritz are a lovely pair to watch. For rally days and trainings, you will ride in the A group, the top jumping group." Alex beamed and patted Fritz's neck affectionately. This was going up a level for Alex, and he was looking forward to the challenge of a higher group. Benji looked at his clipboard with the list of riders' names, then at Cate. He patted Odette's neck and said, "Caitlin, it's your turn now. What are your plans with this gorgeous horse?" "It's Cate. Everyone calls me Cate," Cate said politely and took a deep breath in anticipation. "Okay, Cate it is," said Benji dryly as he put his hands behind his head with a blank expression. Cate answered carefully. "Well, I like competing in horse shows, entering best rider classes and show hunter classes for Odette. Last year I won the champion rider title for my age group for our county. I guess I'd like to win the champion rider title again in this county and at the Pony Club Championships." Benji smiled with his mouth, but his eyes stayed serious. "Wonderful, that's a great goal to aim for," he said in an even tone. He then leant over and tightened a strap of Odette's brushing boot before adding, "Let's see you work." He clapped his hands together and pursed his lips, looking towards the arena. Cate walked Odette around the arena and felt self-conscious and stiff in the saddle. She had to remind herself to relax. She whispered to Odette, "Please be good," and stroked her neck. She asked Odette for a balanced walk, then put her through her paces, including walk to canter transitions and extended trot. Benji asked Cate to ride over a small jump combination with cross rails. Cate finished by asking Odette for a nice square halt where the front and back legs were together side by side. "Nice, she's a lovely mare and good job riding," Benji said, then turned to the younger riders. "Children, you should see Alex and Cate as an example of where you can take your riding in the future." Cate was over the moon, but still waiting for her riding group assessment. Benji paused and seemed to collect his thoughts. "So, I'll put you in the B group with a focus on dressage." "But Benji, I don't do dressage," said Cate, trying to keep her tone polite. "We don't have groups for pure showing, I'm afraid, but you'll find that the dressage training will help your flat work for showing immensely." Benji took a sip from his water bottle and looked towards the other children. "Okay," said Cate. She wasn't sure about what he'd said, but she could see the topic was closed. "Thanks," she added, but maybe Benji didn't hear her as he was concentrating on the younger children walking around the arena. Cate was pleased that she'd been moved to a higher group at least. She had been in a lower group at her last pony club. Cate and Alex parted ways, and Cate had time to join the dressage to music session with her new group. When she arrived, she could see Mans directing lines of horses through different configurations like figure of eights, small and large circles, and crossing the diagonal. Mans spotted Cate on the edge of the field and waved her over. Cate joined the session and rode through various configurations with the other riders. There was a girl called Genevieve riding a stunning, leggy chestnut horse with 4 white socks. Genevieve had long blonde hair and was the only rider to wear a smart blue blazer even though the weather was warm. Cate was trotting across the diagonal with Genevieve passing her, coming from the other direction. The other girl's horse began to canter when it wasn't supposed to and almost collided with Odette. Cate pulled Odette back sharply with the reins and Genevieve's horses kicked out, slicing the air close to Odette's face. For a moment Cate was terrified, then sighed in relief when she realised the kick hadn't made contact. Odette continued unfazed, and Cate was stunned to hear Genevieve shouting, "Watch out next time!" from across the arena. Cate was indignant and shouted back, "It wasn't my fault. You were meant to be trotting and cut me off as you were cantering and going too fast." Suddenly, Man's voice, much sterner now, came between them. "Genevieve, where is the red ribbon in Lady's tail?" Horses that kicked were meant to have a red ribbon tied to their tails so people knew not to get too close to them. Genevieve brought her horse back to a walk. "Oh my, it must have fallen off," she said breezily. Mans looked impatient as she replied, "Please get one from the clubhouse right now." Cate had continued on trotting but kept one eye on Genevieve. Genevieve and a big girl riding a buckskin pony smirked at each other before Genevieve dug her heels into her mare's side and trotted off towards the clubhouse. Cate felt satisfied that the annoying girl had been told off and was able to focus on the rest of the session. Mans was a patient instructor. It was a challenge to match over 8 very different types of horses with varying gaits. It took some adaptation, including slotting of horses in different positions. Afterwards, they had a pole work session where they trotted over a series of poles spaced out by the average length of a horse's stride. Cate enjoyed this, as Odette seemed to be more active and focused as she trotted and cantered over different distances. At lunchtime, Cate met Alex in the resting area. They tied the horses up, untacked them, and gave them hay and water. Violet arrived to spectate. She was interested in joining the club once she'd found a horse. Cate's parents were there too and congratulated both Cate and Alex on moving up a level. After lunch, Cate was scheduled for a session with Benji in the dressage arena. She and Violet went back to the arena where the assessments had taken place, but now it was full of young people and ponies doing mounted games. Cate looked around and saw a familiar-looking girl on a chestnut horse walking on the path to the left of the arena. "Hi," Cate called out. "Do you know where the dressage lesson with Benji is taking place?" The girl halted her horse and replied, "Sure, it's this way. You can come with me. I'm going to the same lesson." Cate, Odette and Violet made her way towards the girl. As they got nearer, Cate realised it was Tabby from her school. "Tabby?" said Cate. The girl's face broke out into a surprised smile. "Hi, Cate. Oh, wow, I didn't know you rode. And Violet?" Tabby looked at them more closely. "Yes," said Cate. "Today's my first day at Pony Club. Violet came to watch as she's looking to join after she finds a horse." "Wow, that's great. Now we'd better keep walking and talking or we'll be late, and Benji does not like that." As they started walking, Tabby said to Cate, "What a beautiful horse you have. A palomino too. What's her name and how old is she?" "Thanks. Her name is Odette and she's 9 years old." "What about your horse?" Cate said, looking at the heavy-set chestnut horse with a perfect white star and flaxen mane, marching along beside her. It seemed to be a cob of some sort. "She's called Nancy. I borrow her from Avonlea Park stables. She's 11 and she's taught me a lot," said Tabby, patting the mare's neck affectionately. "How's your first day so far?" "It's been great. The grounds are huge compared to my old pony club." "Yes, it's great here. When do you think you'll get your new horse?" Tabby asked Violet. "Who knows?" Violet replied with exasperation as she crossed her arms. "We've looked at more than 10 horses now, and the good ones were sold before I even got to see them. The others were nothing like how they'd been described in the ad. One even tried to kick me." "Oh, that's a shame," said Tabby sympathetically. "I'd recommend you look at the horses for sale at Avonlea Park, but the owner doesn't really care that much about the horses. I only stay there because I've been riding Nancy for 2 years, and I couldn't bear to give her up." "That is terrible that Nancy is owned by someone like that," replied Cate in a sympathetic voice. "I didn't see you in the dressage to music session earlier," Cate asked Tabby brightly, changing the subject. "I didn't go. My bike's broken and my mum dropped me at the stables late today," Tabby said darkly. "Oh, what a pain," chimed in Violet. As she said this, they emerged from a wooded section of the cross-country course. Ahead of them was an arena where Benji and the rest of the group were waiting. "We're here!" cried Tabby, and waved at the rest of the riders. "Come on, Cate, let's join the others. Violet, there's a bench you can sit on beside the arena." Tabby gestured to a wooden bench under a large inviting tree. "See you soon!" Half the dressage arena was overhung by trees from the cross-country course. The riders were standing in the shade, facing Benji. Benji asked them to work first together, and was critical and serious at times. As he watched the riders, he pressed his lips together, fiddled with his scarf, and took regular sips from his water bottle. He had a dinky, fluffy white dog with him that he called Elliot. He sat at Benji's feet reluctantly and play-barked at things that Cate couldn't see, probably shadows or flies. Benji gripped the dog's lead tightly with his free hand. As the group trotted around, Benji barked orders at them. After this, they had one-to-one instruction whilst the other riders sat under the tree and watched. In Cate's one-to-one instruction, Benji asked her to do repetitive transitions from walk to trot to walk, making sure Odette reacted instantly to the aid and stayed on the bit. When their first time was finished, he said that until Odette had more impulsion and a desire to go forward, they couldn't work on any other exercises. Cate bristled at Benji's tone and dearly missed Bridget, her last riding instructor. When it was Tabby's time with Benji, she worked on the lateral movements such as leg yielding, going sideways. It looked like Tabby was under-horsed. She was a graceful rider, not moving in the saddle, keeping her hands very still and appearing to have invisible aids. Nancy looked sweet and honest, but heavy going, sending small dust clouds into the air every time her hooves hit the arena sand. She didn't have the look at me factor that Odette did, but Cate could see why Tabby was in this group. She was such a good rider and managed to get Nancy to do many dressage movements while looking very graceful. Genevieve went next, and Lady swished her tail, full of tension as she trotted. Benji asked them to do leg yielding and shoulder-in exercises in the trot to soften the horse up. Genevieve sat straight in the saddle, but was rigid and moved her hands a lot, not giving the horse a consistent contact in the reins. In the leg yielding, the horse practically ran to the edge of the arena instead of moving laterally and crossing the legs. In a somewhat exasperated voice, Benji told Genevieve to keep her hands still and relax. Cate couldn't see much improvement by the time Genevieve was finished. After all the riders had their individual teaching time with Benji, he gestured for the group to circle around him once again. Now, riders, I wanted to tell you that the Pony Club Championships will take place in December, so you have many months to practice. The date and all the rest of the information will be on the Pony Club website next week. After the lesson, Cate, Tabby and Violet left the arena. Cate was subdued as she was used to getting praise for her riding and Benji hadn't been particularly nice to her, but she was also excited about the Pony Club Championships. The rally day had finished, so they said goodbye to Tabby as she had to return to Nancy to Avonlea Park on time. Cate needed to find Alex, and Violet said she'd seen him in the show jumping arena when she'd visited the bathroom. Cate felt bad about Violet not having a horse, so she dismounted Odette and led her alongside Violet. As they walked to the show jumping area, they discussed the day and both agreed the Pony Club was fantastic. Violet said she was dying to get a horse so she could begin at the Pony Club. Cate went on to tell Violet about her earlier encounter with Genevieve. "Oh, that girl looks like a piece of work. And she doesn't have half the riding talent that you have," declared Violet. "Did you see her horse, though? Divine, although a bit cranky." "Well, what horse wouldn't be with that girl riding it and pulling it in the mouth all the time? I would ignore her, Cate, just the way that Tabby and Benji seemed to today." Cate agreed this was the best approach and overall was glad she'd met a few nice people. Violet added, she probably feels intimidated because another new rider joined the group and turned out to be better than her. They'd reached the show jumping arena and they could see a group of spectators leaning on the rail watching Alex and Fritz glide around the course. It was big, with large oxes and even a water jump. People were complimenting Alex and Fritz. They even clapped when he finished the course, and it wasn't a competition. And that is all from Halen and I today. I really hope you enjoyed reading Chapter 6. I know I loved reading about Cate's first day at Dalesea Hills Pony Club. And I also really loved getting to know a little bit more about Tabby. And just a little reminder before the end of the video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when Chapter 7 will be uploaded tomorrow. And from Halen and I, he's gone off to the back of his stable now, it's goodbye!